Greetings and welcome to this demo of the MessageCopier for Discord software. Please use this link in the address bar you see to access the dashboard. Here you can enter the email that you use to purchase the software. Click Send Sign-in link, and then a sign-in link will be emailed to your inbox for a passwordless login. So typically you'll find the email in your inbox, if not, also check your spam. Click the link in the email and you can see that you are now able to log in into the dashboard. You will first be shown the page where you can see your registered profile details used at the time of software purchase. If you go to the subscription page, you can see the purchased softwares you have access to. Click the Download Software button to initiate the download of the MessageCopier discord.zip file. Specify the location to save the file, and the download process will start. If you want to read up on the instructions, you can click the user guide here. In this user guide page, you can see a Google Doc of the user guide, and then finally you can also see a link to this YouTube video. You need to set up SSH to access the remote VM terminal. The SSH command contains the path to the private key, the username, and the IP address of the remote machine. This command will log us into the remote machine. After you have downloaded this MessageCopier discord.zip file from the client dashboard, you want to move this to the remote server. So the way you do that is to use the scp command in a new terminal window. In the scp command, we specify the source file path on the local machine, the user profile name, and IP address on the remote server, followed by the destination file path. So the tilde operator used represents the home location, so this will move the zip file to the home location of this user in the remote server. So if I go to the server, and if I type ls, I will see that this file is now existing in the remote server. After moving the file to the remote VM, we will unzip it into this directory called MessageCopier Discord. And when you inspect the zipped folder, you will see there are basically 4 files. The MessageCopier Discord is the Unix executable file, which is the main software that you run. The channel_map.json is basically going to contain the source and destination channels that you would want to configure, because right now, it is inserted with some dummy placeholder values which you need to replace. We will talk about the user_aliases.json file when we see it in action a little later. But basically, if you want to mask anybody's Discord username, can be your username or somebody else's username with some other alias while you are forwarding the message, you can configure those values here in user_aliases.json. You can add as many user aliases as you want. And lastly, we'll also look at symbol_mapper.json. So this is similar to the user_aliases.json file, where instead of having an alias for a username, we basically use aliases to replace text phrases in any incoming message. Here we are specifying that if we see any phrase like gold, we want to replace it with XAUUSD. So that's basically the overview of all these JSON files. So next we'll see how to about running this MessageCopier Discord software. So the first step, before we go and run the MessageCopier Discord software executable file, is to set up our Discord self-token in the .bashrc file of this user profile in the remote Ubuntu machine. Typically, the .bashrc file already exists in most Ubuntu remote servers, so you open the bashrc and go to the end of the file. Thereafter, please insert your Discord self-token with this export command, like so. So once you insert this, you save the bashrc file using wq command, and type source.bashrc, which tells bash to reload the .bashrc file changes to the system. You can check whether the environment variable is now registered in your machine by typing this echo command. That seems to work. And now we are all set to now run the software. So we have just set up our channel map with the source and destination channels. You can get the channel ID for any Discord channel by logging into this discord.com on your browser, and the last set of digits after the last / represent the channel ID. For the purpose of this demo, I have created a test source channel and test destination channel. Now let's get started. To run the software in an uninterrupted manner, we use the screen command. When you first run the software, you'll be asked to enter the mobile number used at the time of software purchase and registration. The mobile number is also used to validate your license key details for the software. Thereafter, you can detach from the screen and exit the terminal. Now let's start the demo and see the MessageCopier in action. Voila! Now we see our first message getting cloned. The software also captures edits on source channel messages, and in general, the relay happens quite fast. So now we'll see the purpose and utility of this user_aliases.json. In a normal scenario, the username of the incoming message in the source Discord channel is captured as it is, but in case you want to mask your own Discord username or the username of some other person, all you have to do is open the user_aliases.json using the Vim editor, type I to go into insert mode, and then replace the placeholder text with the username that you wanted to mask. In this demo, I am just using my Discord username, and I'm just asking it to be replaced as John Doe. Thereafter, save this file with the WQ command. Since now that we have made changes in operational settings of the software, you have to reconnect to the screen and then restart the MessageCopier Discord software. Press Ctrl+C to kill the existing run of the MessageCopier Discord software in the screen terminal, and then restart the software again. Detach from the screen and exit from the terminal, or minimize it if you want. Now this will work as before, but this time I am sending a different message type. I am sending a message with code blocks, and you can see my username has been masked, an alias to John Doe. The software also captures edits on code block type messages. Isn't it great? So next we will look at the demo of this Symbol_Mapper.json, which we saw earlier. So in the Symbol_Mapper.json, you saw a key value pair. What this means is, if the software encounters a text phrase with capital gold, it'll replace that text with XAUUSD. So that's its purpose, and next we will see that in action. Now we will send a message with gold in the text, and we will try to replace that with XAUUSD, and we see that the gold is replaced correctly with XAUUSD. It also works if the incoming message is formatted differently, like a trading signal. So there is an important and useful setting pertaining to trading signal type messages in the Config.ini. This is the send_as_order_dict field, and by default, its value is false. So if you are receiving a trading type signal, and you want it to be formatted slightly differently, you can set this send underscore as _order_dict to true. Save the config.ini file. Reconnect to the screen terminal session. Kill the existing run of MessageCopier Discord and then restart it. After this, we will detach from the screen. And now if you see, if I send the same message again, I will send it as a nice formatted order dictionary type message. As before, it will continue to capture any edits in this message. So if I edit this message and add on more TP value, you can see that this TP4 value, set to 3300, is also captured. Next, we will see this relay_all setting in the config.ini file, which is set to true by default. So right now it is relaying all the messages. But in case you only want to clone or forward only these signal type messages, you can set relay all to false. As we have seen before, any change in the configuration file or operational settings requires you to terminate the existing run of the software in the screen session and restart it again. We'll detach from the screen after restarting it. So now, if I go and type a "Hello John" message like this, which doesn't have an instrument, directional buy, sell prices, stop loss, TPs, etc., you see it's not going to get forwarded. We can also see this in the log file. Since we started the software many times, we see many log files created. Upon opening the most recent log file, you can see there's first an authentication check at the top, and lastly, you can see that our most recent message got skipped. If you want to monitor the log in a more active fashion, we can use the tail command. So now, if I happen to send the same message, you can see the new message, and the edits are appearing in the .log file. So to monitor and debug any software operations, you can just connect to the remote VM and inspect your log file with the tail command. Okay, the important thing to remember is that in your symbol_mapper.json file, the instrument for which you are tracking these signal type messages needs to be added here if you are using send underscore as underscore order underscore dict equals true in conjunction with relay underscore all equals false. So right now, if I send a trading signal type message for a different instrument like silver, it's going to get classified as a normal message and get skipped because silver was not added to the symbol mapper. So please add all the symbols that you would want to track in your source channels to your symbol mapper so that it gets forwarded correctly. That's all for the basic features demo of the MessageCopier Discord software. So now we'll see an important feature demo of the MessageCopier Discord software, which is the historical cloning. This feature allows you to clone all the historical messages from any public or private channel. Before you launch this process, you want to make sure that the relay all field in the Config.ini file is set to true if you want to clone all the historical messages. But if you want to selectively clone only the signal type messages, you can set relay underscore all equals false. With that said, let's launch this historical cloning process, which is just a matter of adding the historical underscore clone argument flag to the MessageCopier Discord executable file launch. This historical cloning process will basically use the channel underscore map.json and clone all the past messages in the source channels to their corresponding destination channels in parallel. The channel underscore map.json has only 2 entries presently, and so we are going to clone all the messages from these 2 channels. If the source channel has a lot of historical messages, you need to restrict the cloning process to 6 months or a year. You can do this by specifying the date in year, month and day format to this before and after CLI arguments. This CLI command will start the historical cloning process, and the arg values are going to direct the process to parse messages only within these dates. From the console log, we can see that we only have about 6 messages posted in this education channel during the time period specified in the CLI. You can also view the log entries in real time using the tail command as shown before, and in the log we see that both channels are processed in parallel. Remember, cloning process takes a lot of time because of a delay inserted in between messages to avoid hitting Discord API rate limit errors. Okay, I guess we have completed the cloning process and cloned all the historical messages within the specified date range in both the channels. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.